Hello everyone and welcome back to Bitwig Studio and Music Production. This is lesson 4.06, and in this lesson we're going to talk about parallel processing within an FX layer. So just like I talked about with parallel processing and how I kind of went through these videos, if this is your first video and you're just tuning in now, you really need to go back and watch the last video where we actually talk about spectral processing. And if you watch that video, I'm sure I probably recommended that you go back and watch the videos on parallel processing, because all of these things are related and they all build on top of each other. So just like I talked about in the parallel processing videos, sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to manage 20 tracks going down, especially if on each one you're processing it separately. It can just kind of be a pain. So one solution is to work all within the same track. And what you can do within the same track using the FX layer is start to get a little bit of parallel processing by just making several of these different layers. So I have a tool device. I'm just going to put in 3 of these for right now. I'm going to call this first one just dry, and with this one we're not going to touch the signal at all. We'll just leave this tool device as it is. With this next one we'll use, we'll use the low end, and the other one we'll use everything else. Okay, so how am I going to set this up? You probably already know. I'll go into the low here, just get rid of that tool for right now, and I'll add an EQ too. Put on a low pass filter, or maybe for this example, we'll just use the filter device. Why not? And I'm going to put the resonance down to 0, jump this back to 0, and just pull this cutoff down until I'm only hearing the low end that I want. Okay, that works for me. And then for everything else, we're going to put another filter on. Just flip that around here. Resonance down to 0. Using our high pass filter. Okay, cool. And now if we want, we can go off to the races and start processing these independently. And to do that, you're just going to add effects after this first filter, whatever you want to put in here. I haven't picked the wisest of effects, but whatever. Right now I'm just going through presets so we can do this quickly. Normally I would set all this stuff manually. Okay, whatever. There's no reason for me to stress about any of this stuff. But you can hear that we've created a chain here. First, we started by just getting it into a parallel configuration. And then on each of those independent chains, we started by filtering out a good deal of the frequency content. In this case, we split it between just low and high, and then got to work and started to do some different effects to each of those regions. The cool thing about this version was we also have a dry, so we are getting some of that original loop in there. And we could even turn that down a little bit lower, just so we can hear more of the affected sounds. But that's staying in there as well, and that's always really cool. And we could also even take this, for example, and if we wanted to, we can copy and paste the layer, and then we could actually manipulate these guys differently if we wanted, and we could then, you know, put one panned off to the left and then pan one off to the right, and that's one possibility, and that would be a really cool thing to do if you want to slightly then change these settings. We could play this back here. And we'll maybe slightly change this. Right, so just another idea for you guys if you want to take it in that direction. Really, it's up to you. So I hope that was helpful for you guys, and we'll be back in the next lesson to show you an even easier way to set up a parallel processing configuration with some spectral processing. That's the cherry on top. Thank you so much for watching, man. I'm out of it. And you'll hear from me again in the next lesson. Take care.